sir. I'm student meteorologist Evan Thomason.
And I'm student meteorologist Chris Knoll.
And today has been actually a pretty good day, which has actually been surprising. We predicted rain for much of today, but the sun has kind of stuck through and the clouds haven't provided a lot of precipitation.
Yeah, the rain has been a little off and on. It did rain quite solidly for at least 15 minutes, or at least the 15 minutes when I was leaving my data structures recitation and walking towards my dorm.
But that must have stunk.
I mean, outside of that, it was fine. It didn't start raining until I left the building, so.
Oh, there you go. That's good at least. I know I personally got drenched last night. I was studying in the Love building, and right around 11, 12 p.m. is when a lot of that rain came through and stuck around for much of the later hours of last night.
Yeah, I most certainly fell asleep listening to the sound of rain hitting the window last night, as I'm sure many of the rest of you on campus.
It was very comforting. It was also very comforting when we have to wake up to rain. I don't think there was much rain this morning. Either way, it's on your morning commute, and right now on your evening commute, we're looking at breaks in the clouds right now, honestly, with some peaks of sunshine for that.
Yeah, these clouds seem to be sticking around just a little while as the front seemed to stall out north of us for a bit, but that sunshine is still looking like it's going to be on the way coming this weekend.
Yeah, well, this weekend, we still got to get some more rain through for the next day and a half. Thursday should be another on-off day. We'll definitely get some chances of showers, and we'll go into that more later on the show. But for right now, we're going to send it off to the wall with Jessica and give us the overview.
All right, yeah, so it's been sort of on and off rain so far today, and that's going to continue on for the rest of the evening. We've got some isolated thunderstorms in the area with current temperature of 70 degrees right now. And we can see with our radar right now, we've got these pop-up showers in the area, bringing rain into the area for the evening. We've got a flash flood watch up to the north of us, but for the Tallahassee area, we've just got some rain in the area. And over the next 24 hours, we can see the rain's going to just be continuing on for the next 24 hours or so, on and off, until the evening tomorrow, when it finally starts to clear up. And for tonight in Tallahassee, we've got a low of 66 degrees and some mixed conditions, some cloudy, rainy conditions going on for the evening. Some nice, cool temperatures at 66. And for tomorrow, rain is pretty much going to be continuing on in the entire area with a temperature of 77 degrees here in Tallahassee. All the temperatures ranging around the mid-70s or so. And we've got our headlines now. The rain's going to continue on into tomorrow, and afterwards we've got a cool down coming down. Pretty nice. We always like cool temperatures in the area. And it's going to go on into the weekend with some clear skies moving on in the weekend, some nice conditions. But for now, I'm going to pass it off to Parker with the Southeast.
Yeah, thank you, Jessica. That was Jessica's debut here on the FSU Weather Show. Congratulations, Jessica. That was fantastic. But for right now, I'm going to take over with the Southeast. Our current temperatures all around the area looking, iffy. We got 70 here in Tallahassee, 79 in New Orleans, 53 over in Shreveport. But look at this. You see this line right here, where we divide our 70s from our 50s. That's because of a stationary front that's currently settled over top of that area, and it's reflected upon within the dew points. Again, 70 degrees for your dew point in New Orleans, 65 in Tallahassee, parts of Florida all the way down to the peninsula, around the 60s, 69 in Miami. But again, that contrast is here and it's along here. We've got 70 on one side and we've got 50s, even 40s on the other side. And then once we get into Tennessee near Nashville, we've got a 33-degree dew point. Our storm outlook is looking, kind of typical for this time of year. We're getting into tornado season. We're now in March. We're now in meteorological spring, started 3 days ago. So we've got our storm outlook here. We've got a slight risk for or slight risk for severe activity for severe thunderstorms, possibly an isolated tornado or two with some hailstorms embedded in those storms. We've got marginal risk all along in the darker shaded green, and then a possibility for thunderstorms along in the light green. If we take a look at the satellite and radar, we've got this stationary front that's just got this whole line of thunderstorms going from east to west and from west to east. It's just drenching parts of the southeast right now. We've got flash flood watches in effect. That's actually right behind me. That is in effect until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's what all this green is. See where these county lines and the state lines are? That darker shaded green behind the radar is where our flash flood watches are right now. So much of the area in a huge flash flood watch, and that's very typical of this stationary front. Parts of Jackson and Montgomery getting the hardest rain right now along I-65 and I-59, right in between those two regions. That's where the hardest rain was falling earlier. Our forecast model is showing and is very reflected upon that. We've got lots of rain dumping across the southeast right now with a nice cold front line starting to form right here. If we pause right here around 8 p.m. tomorrow morning, much of the rain is outside of the Mississippi, Alabama, and northern Florida regions. However, that line is going to push through parts of central and south Florida tomorrow and into Friday evening. Tonight's forecast for the southeast, temperature is going to be dipping down into the 40s for Nashville, Little Rock, Shreveport, and Charlotte. But we're sitting at 65 comfortably here in Tallahassee, and across the Panhandle, temperatures around the 70-degree mark. For tomorrow's forecast, Orlando, man, 90 degrees. They broke a high today. Tom Sorrells there at News 6 tweeted out earlier that they broke a high that hasn't been set for a long time. It's actually the first time they've hit 90 degrees this year. 90 degrees forecasted for tomorrow in Miami and 80 degrees in Tampa. But along for much of the southeast, it's going to be fairly comfortable, except with those temperatures nearing 90 degrees in Orlando and Miami. I'm going to send things over to Evan with a look at local.
Thank you very much, Parker. We're dealing with that stationary front just north of us, so we're able to see maybe a peak or two on our weather stem camera, where we can see maybe a peak or two of sunshine, maybe some blue sky mixed in with there as well for you. It's been mostly a gloomy day, but the rain and precipitation really has not made itself known throughout the day, although it feels like it a little bit within the temperatures in itself. We're sitting at 63 up in Thomasville, and yet we're we're all the way up at 75 still in Perry. 12-degree temperature contrast within the range. We usually don't get that, see that very often, especially on a normal day. Very muggy out, 71 in Carabel. When those dew points almost match those temperatures, you're really feeling, physically feeling that moisture in the air without even raining somewhat. And we can see that even on the radar. You see, it looks like it is raining on our radar. If I look, I'm even looking out right now. It is not raining out, to my knowledge at least. Maybe a drizzle or two, but you can, with that, how high that dew point is, you can really see how moist it is in this atmosphere, as the radar is picking up a lot of this clutter moving up with this stationary front that has caused a lot of counties, especially up in Bainbridge and Thomasville. You are under a flash flood watch, so definitely be careful in those areas. But for the next 24 hours, that rain is going to be lingering in throughout the night. Spotty showers pretty much expected all the way throughout overnight and all the way into tomorrow. Those dots do not leave this radar one bit. Up, especially into Thomasville and Bainbridge, we're definitely looking at more rain chances for you, as that rain's definitely sticking up more north. Good news, finally Thursday at 6 p.m. May take an entire full 24 hours to make this system move all the way through. So definitely hang in, stick in, and definitely have your rain plans in to get some rain boots, get those rain jackets on, and head out to work and school tomorrow. But as we're looking at temperatures, sticking into the lower 60s and the upper 70s still for tomorrow, even though the rain is coming through. Cold front really not making its presence yet known until more of later on into the week. But for tomorrow, we're going to be seeing those rainy chances really going up and down throughout the area. Could be, like today, intervals of on, intervals of off. That's pretty much what we're going to be dealing with all throughout the day tomorrow, especially since that moisture is sticking up really high into our area. Down to 65 as our high on Friday, but we see those temperatures start to cool down to 41 from the cold front, eventually going to make its way through fully on the day, Thursday night and into Friday. But for now, we're going to toss it off to the desk with a look at with Parker and Chris.
Thanks there, Evan. Yeah, we're actually going to be looking at the Nashville tornado that happened not this morning, but yesterday morning. Some very tragic news coming in from that area. Chris, a Nashville tornado just north of the city. Absolutely awful what happened.
Well, there was actually two separate tornado damages that happened. There was an EF2 and an EF3 that both happened, and there was at least 40 buildings that collapsed. There was 25 confirmed fatalities with several dozen confirmed missing.
Yeah, that's absolutely tragic news coming out of Nashville, Tennessee. Our hearts go out to everyone affected by this. I know it's going to cost millions of dollars. It's going to be a long cleanup, a very long cleanup process. We've seen tornadoes in the past do damage similar to this, and it's taken months, if not years, for the recovery to happen.
Yeah, at least a little bit of good news that happened with it, or it could have been worse because of sections of the Tennessee State campus did get damaged. However, they're currently on spring break this week, so plenty of students managed to get out of the area in time if they were visiting back home for spring break or whatever. So there could have been much worse.
Yeah, they've filed for funding from the government through FEMA, through the Federal Emergency Management Association. So they're getting funding through that. Hopefully the recovery process is great, but like you said, students being on spring break during this time was probably better off that they weren't on campus.
Yeah. So if you know anyone that was from Nashville, or you most certainly heard from them, maybe your hearts go out to them. Keep them in your thoughts. Also in Middle Tennessee, there was also 4 other separate tornadoes. There was an EF1 that is west-southwest of Sparta and White County, as well as an EF1 that was northwest of Sparta County, EF0 Warren County, and an EF1 that was over downtown Lawrenceburg.
Yeah, some heartbreaking news out of Nashville, Tennessee. Again, one last time, our condolences go to everyone out there who's been affected. An outstanding job done by the National Weather Service and the broadcast meteorologists in that area. We want to thank you for taking the time out of your day for protecting lives in that area. Thank you so much. We're going to send things over to the wall right now with Evan.
My own prayers and my own heart really goes out to anybody who's affected out through Nashville. And key note about that tornado actually as well, they were under a very tiny risk of getting such a tornado as well for that night. So it really goes to show that any severe weather can be able to produce something that happened as tragic as it happened to areas of Nashville. But that stationary front is staying right now along the coast around New Orleans to southern Georgia, where we're seeing, boy, this system really blow up. And finally, Thursday night, we're going to start to see that move out. But more of tornadic chances sticking around, especially for tomorrow night, where this is actually going to develop more into a front rather than a stationary front, more right down along right here. Could see some serious tornado chances popping up areas of Gainesville. For the rest of the country, we're seeing high pressure systems and beautiful skies. 62 in Albuquerque. As we look out further out to the west, we're looking at 65 in LA, 58 in Salt Lake City. We're sitting up temperatures more towards springtime. Even in Kansas City, we're reaching up to 59 and 47 in Chicago. With the dew points really just sticking muggy around the southeast, which is where we're having that big blow-up system, scattering rain all across from areas of Louisiana all the way into South Carolina. We're seeing that jet stream coming from the Pacific Ocean. If you can see it just a little bit down just to the west of Mexico right here, this is where it starts to make its way throughout Mexico and push itself up. The only problem is this dry air is really not pushing that much of anywhere, and that moisture is really just standing still where it is. You see how much moisture it has continued to really pour over those areas. It's been raining there since early Tuesday, and it's going to continue mostly into tomorrow, definitely into tomorrow night to look out for. So definitely look out for that. We are seeing some snow up in the northeast, but not too much. It is still raining in Pennsylvania, so not really too much of a factor there with the front. This is the main system we're looking at, especially for tornado activity and flash flood watching all across Alabama and into Georgia, so definitely be careful on your travel there. And you can see this moisture continues to build up from this jet stream. Finally, it'll push its way out into Thursday night. But Thursday night is where we see the greatest chances really in between Savannah and Gainesville for the activity. Behind it, we're looking at nice clear skies for you. Into tonight's forecast, looking in the 30s, cool, calm, should be a great night. Clear out west, but out towards the east, especially into tomorrow night, we'll be dealing with that more of effects from that front, especially here in Tallahassee and into Atlanta and South Carolina. But for now, I'm going to toss it off to Chris with a more local look.
Thank you, Evan. Right now, zooming in on our current conditions, you can see a little bit of sunshine here and a little bit of blue skies behind those clouds. would be a beautiful sunset if it wasn't for these clouds that have been sitting here all day. Right now, 70 degrees, maybe an isolated thunderstorm or two, definitely some scattered showers out and about. Winds come from the east-northeast at 3 miles per hour. On our satellite radar, you can see some scattered showers all throughout the area as these clouds have been sticking around. Some of it is coming, sort of breaking off a little bit from the stationary front. However, most of that rain is kept to the north. Right now, zooming out, we can see the stationary front is keeping all this rain situated to the north of us, really hitting Atlanta, really hitting Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi with yet again another long rainstorm as things start moving on into the next 24 hours. These scattered showers are going to be sticking around a bit around Thursday, up until around Thursday around 2 o'clock. That's when they're going to start formulating into more of a line, and starting that cold front is going to finally catch up and push that stationary front out of the area and start having those temperatures go down. Right now, current temperatures right now, we're 70 degrees in Tallahassee, 75 in Perry, and you're starting to maybe see the front a little bit with it 64 degrees up north in Donaldsonville. Right now on our dew points, we are very moist. I know that when I was waiting to walk to my midterm with Tyler and other seniors getting ready for our synoptic exam, we could almost taste the air with how moist the air was. There's so much, those dew points are very high. There's a lot of moisture sitting in the atmosphere right now. Wind speed and directions, they're really scattered all over the place due to that stationary front north to us. Relatively calm. You even have 0 wind speed in Quincy and Monticello. It's only 3 miles per hour down here in Tallahassee. Getting for our evening planner, it's going to be pretty rainy out tonight. Going to cool only down to 67 degrees by 11 p.m. Tomorrow it's going to be another stormy day. Scattered showers about. It's going to be 65, warming all the way up to 77 degrees. Getting an early look at our 7-day. Thursday is your last day of rain, and it's going to be shaping up to a fantastic week ahead. But for now, I'm going to pass things off to the desk with both Parker and Evan.
7-day looks pretty nice after tomorrow. So Evan and I are going to be talking about daylight savings time, which goes into effect Sunday night at 12 a.m. We're actually going to be springing forward, so we're going to be losing an hour of sleep this Sunday.
Bad news, if you wanted extra sleep this weekend, you will be sadly losing that hour.
Yeah, you're going to have to get that Friday night into Saturday morning.
Definitely, that's what I'm looking forward to. But daylight savings time is the thing that comes back all the way from World War I. It's not something that's just happens from the old calendars or something like that they put in the...
Yeah, like the Mayan calendars.
The Mayan calendars, the all stuff like that. They decided the 12 months, it came all the way back from World War I in 1916.
Yeah, so this will be the 105th time that'll be put into place. So it was an attempt to conserve fuel needed to produce electric power during World War I. Germany and Austria were the first countries to adopt daylight savings time, and this occurred on April 30th, 1916 at 11 p.m. So they went from 11 p.m. to 12 a.m.
First thing, I guess the first time in history where you skipped a full hour, and there's no such thing as 11:30 on April 30th, 1916.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
So it was adopted by the U.S. officially in 1918. This was after the war, after World War I. And in 1919, after the war was over, it was an option for all of the states.
But after 1942, FDR instituted a year-round daylight savings time as a result of World War II, Second World War, so that's when it became really much more an official thing.
Yeah, so it wasn't optional for the states anymore. It was basically required during World War II. The ICC Interstate Commerce Commission was in favor of keeping daylight savings time for years to come, so from now, for many years to come, based on farming preferences.
Now it's not as popular.
Yeah.
But yeah, in fact, 2 states don't even use it anymore, Hawaii and Arizona. So a lot of states are still even continuing to think about eliminating that as well.
Yeah, I know it. I think it might actually be on the ballot this year. I'm not
I'll have to check
100%
that out,
sure, but I think it's coming to that time where people are starting to get over this daylight savings time of losing or like gaining an hour. So
But speaking of time, it's time to roll on to Chris back at the wall.
Thank you. And right now we're going to take a look at the great sunshine state of Florida. Right now, our current conditions is a lot cooler up in North Florida, as that stationary front is above us, as well as Orlando's our hot point right now of 86 degrees right now. They currently today set a record for the highest temperature for March 7th, 4th, March 4th. I know what day it is. Synoptic exams really mess with my brain right now. Dew points up in North Florida, feeling very moist, but as we start moving down towards South Florida, you're not really going to be feeling that humidity as much as you're going to have those much higher temperatures, which is reflected in our heat index. As North Florida, your heat indexes are relatively closer towards your regular temperatures as they are down in South Florida. Going into our satellite radar, you can see the stationary front that's situated above North Florida that's really hitting Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi with a lot of rainfall that's going on. We're going to go take a closer look. You can see that up in North Georgia, there's a lot of there's a huge area of a flash flood watch due to how much rain they've gotten over the past few months, actually. But mostly we're moving into the panhandle. There's only a scattered shower or two currently affecting us. Going into our forecast model, though, a cold front's going to come in from the west, and it's going to start pushing that stationary front down, bringing some scattered showers, starting with the panhandle, and it's going to, as always, push down throughout the entirety of the state as things go on. Moving to Miami's 3-day forecast, those frontal storms are going to start breaking down a little bit, so you have a lower chance for storms in the Friday with only a 30%. However, you're definitely going to feel that front with that 9-degree drop from Friday into Saturday. Orlando's 3-day forecast, they're not going to really see the front rain-wise. However, you're going to feel the front as they're going to drop down to 76 degrees Friday, and Saturday you're going to cool all the way down to 65 degrees for your high. Jacksonville's 3-day forecast, Thursday you have that 80% chance of storms coming in, and that front is really going to start hitting you Friday and the Saturday. Once those fronts start pushing through, you're going to have a lot of sunshine throughout the state. Tonight's forecast, going to have rain up by the panhandle, and it's going to be partly cloudy conditions going into tomorrow. That rain is going to start in the panhandle, and it's going to be partly cloudy in South Florida. But for now, I'm going to pass things off to Parker with our local look.
Thank you, Chris. So yeah, we're looking over top at Doak Campbell Stadium right now with our FSU Weather Sim camera. Cloudy skies like we've seen all day. We actually got to see the sun just a little bit earlier with a few spotted showers in the area throughout the day. Right now we're sitting at 70 degrees with isolated thunderstorms. Those are mainly to our north and to our west. Winds are out of the east-northeast at 3 miles per hour, so fairly calm. Our temperatures around the Big Bend region, 70 degrees in Tallahassee, 75 in St. Marks, 73 over in Carabel, 77 in Sumatra, and up north towards southern Georgia and to parts of southern Alabama, we're sitting around the 64-degree mark. Our dew points right now, pretty muggy. 72 in Perry, 71 in Carabel. Like Chris said earlier, you can almost taste the mugginess. That was kind of funny. I laughed at that off screen. 69 in St. Mark, 65 in Monticello, and 65 degrees for your dew point in Tallahassee. If we look at the satellite and radar, we see all these lightning strikes. We got the lightning data up on satellite and radar right now, so you can really see where those heavy pockets of rain and where the lightning is striking right now. So all of that is mainly to our north, like I said, and we've got this flash flood watch that's in effect for parts of southern Georgia, southern Alabama, and even into parts of South Carolina until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. If we zoom in, looking a little bit locally, we've got these spotted patchy-like showers popping up like popcorn around the Tallahassee and the Big Bend region because of that southerly flow of the wind off the Gulf. Now, the forecast model for the next 24 hours is going to show rain coming in and out of the equation, but look at this. Tomorrow night, around the same time as now, maybe about 2 hours later, we're going to see all of the rain start to move off to our east, but those clouds will start to come into play and will leave us partly cloudy conditions overnight tomorrow. As for tonight, we're going to be seeing those partly cloudy conditions again with thunderstorms in the area, again, mainly to our north. We can't rule out the possibility of a thunderstorm here in Tallahassee and for much of the Big Bend region, in fact. So temperature is going to be around the 65-degree mark, and for tomorrow we're going to be capping off at 77 here in the capital of Florida and 74 over in Perry, 76 in Valdosta. Your evening planner for tonight, everyone's going to Madison Social and Township for that FSU game. We're playing Notre Dame away tonight, so we're having a big watch party, right? What's it going to be like? We got 70 degrees on our way over there, but by 9, around halftime, it's going to be 69. We might see rain in the area. And while we're leaving, temperature is going to be around 67, but again, that rain will stick around. Our dog walk forecast for tomorrow, 70 degrees as we're waking up, probably 9 a.m. Noon, 72, 75 by 3 p.m., but look at that. Showers all around. And the week ahead, we've got Thursday with 80% chance of rain, Friday with 65 degrees as our high, Saturday a nice and clear day, and Sunday we're going to be setting the clocks forward, losing an hour of sleep for the work week ahead. Now I'm going to send things over to Evan and Chris for our final desk.
Yeah, thank you, Parker. Really looking forward to that 7-day. Once Thursday comes through, it's going to be some nice weather.
Absolutely. Once Thursday passes through and that tornadic activity also passes through, can't rule that out for our area. We saw what happened in Nashville, and they only had a slight chance of possibly getting that. And so Tallahassee, we can't rule that out for our area, definitely over the next day.
Yeah, we're also in a slight risk too. So the same chance that happened in Nashville can happen to us. We, of course, hope it doesn't happen, but
Yeah.
it's always a possibility.
One can only hope so much, honestly. And the also bad news about that is this is going to continue on for the next day. Really is those little tiny pop-up showers. Some of them could become supercells and really affect us badly.
Yeah. So we're hoping that, of course, they don't pop out to be supercells. However, we do need that much needed rainfall, but we, of course, don't want any tornadic activity to hit us.
Just be weather aware, but besides that, if you looked at the rest of our 7 days, looking pretty fine. Another perfect weekend. We're going golfing, so it'll be fun outdoor activities. Hopefully you have some cool outdoor activities planned for this weekend as well.
Yeah, we're hoping to win the annual Radar Cup.
Yes, we're on a team,
Yeah.
and also Parker,
Parker.
who is doing a show as well with us. Yeah, he's also on our team as well. We're gonna rock Michael.
Yeah,
That's all I'm gonna say.
There's a third other team, but all we care about is beating Michael.
It's gonna be great at the end of the world, but should be perfect conditions for that. The next rain possibility we're looking for is really not until late next week, until like Tuesday or Wednesday as well. So a whole week.
Yeah, but remember to follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Yeah, and you can also watch us on YouTube. You're only watching us on YouTube right now because our cable hasn't been set up yet.
Yeah, and follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather as well.
Yep, we'll send some cool photos out. Definitely stay weather aware. We'll try to keep some updates maybe out throughout the night if anything exciting comes in throughout the night. But as for the end of our show, I'm student meteorologist Evan Thomason.
I'm city meteorologist Chris Knoll. Have a great March 4th.